You are listening to the Beyond Believing podcast. I am your host, Katie Ann. I am a certified life coach, a divorced mom to 5 amazing children, and I am here to share some love and encouragement with you about healing and moving on post-divorce as a Christian woman. Stick around after the show for some details on how we can work together. You are listening to the Beyond Believing podcast, episode number 54. Welcome, my beautiful friends. I am so excited to have you here today. God has got me really excited about this new message, and actually, I'm starting a whole brand new series, so we are getting into it today. I want to remind you, I'm still doing my new case study, Selah Healing. It's designed just for divorced Christian women like you. I have the amazing privilege of working with some of the most fantastic women I have ever had the privilege to encounter, and I am convinced they are just the absolute best. Watching them transform their confidence, step into the peace of Christ, His plan for them, and to build their faith in God is the greatest privilege. Selah Healing is 12 weeks private coaching with me where we get crystal clear on how to create the life post-divorce where you wake up refreshed, at peace every day. And I promise it's possible. I am watching these women transform before my eyes, and it is fantastic to see their transformation and the joy that is back on their faces again. I just opened 4 more seats for my October group. I'd really love for you to be one of them. So find all the details on how to get started in my show notes. You can find the links for my social media pages along with how to contact me also in the show notes. I absolutely love hearing from you. So please keep reaching out. Let me know how I can be praying for you, what you need in this season. And while you're there, if you'll just do me a quick favor, hit that subscribe button. I promise you're not committed to me for life. It just helps the platform know that you find this content valuable, and hit the like button while you're there. I also want to let you know that I am in the works of developing a program or small group, so to speak, for divorced Christian women or single moms, specifically through this holiday season. As you know, the holidays are coming up. If you have to share your children over the holidays, this can be a very heart-wrenching time of year, and I would like to lighten that load, my friends. So God has put it on my heart to put together some kind of a group for all of us who are sharing the holidays with our children's fathers, and in turn, perhaps finding ourselves alone and wondering what to do with that time. If you would be interested in getting together over the holidays, especially if you are in the Salt Lake Valley, where I am, we are going to be working on a service project, developing some skills, practical life skills. Think how to change your oil or check your tire pressure gauge on your car. We are going to be working on that. You can email me at beyondbelievingpodcast@gmail.com to get on my list and to tap into some of those natural motherly instincts that seem a little wasted when you don't have your children around, especially at this holiday season. So please let me know. I will get you on my list. If you are not in the Salt Lake Valley and you would like to participate in a group virtually, I still would love to hear from you. We will be working on meeting together in that platform as well. All of that still applies and is applicable to you, and I would love to support you wherever you are. But if you are here where I am, I would love to see your beautiful faces and hear more about your stories in person. So let's get connected. As always, I am praying the Spirit is here with me today as I share this, because I truly desire for the Spirit and His Word and His truth as you seek Him out post-divorce, and to find His rest, healing, and peace in this season of your life for yourself. So I pray that this message today can do just a little bit of work in that area for you. Instead of sharing about my personal life this week, I'm actually going to ask for your prayers and help for my sweet podcast manager, Maria, instead. God did a beautiful thing in bringing our lives together about 1.5 years ago, and she has become a very dear sister in Christ to me. Several months ago, her husband had a series of heart attacks, which led them to discover that he had a very aggressive form of cancer. She has been unable to continue managing my podcast, which is understandable as she is now focused where she needs to on caring for her husband and navigate this season, which I'm sure you understand is quite an undertaking. Specifically financially, they do not have health insurance and have been unable to qualify for any kind of health insurance up to this point. And they have had a fund set up to help them navigate and offset some of those costs, which I don't have to tell you are rather exorbitant, especially as he's undergone some surgeries, significant diagnostic testing, doctor's appointments, and now they are starting chemotherapy. If you are able to help monetarily or just by keeping them in your prayers, you will be able to find a link in my show notes on how you can support them in this season. And it would mean so very much to myself personally, and of course to her and her husband, Gunnar, as they navigate this very difficult season. All right, so today, my friends, we are starting this new series about what it actually means to become a godly woman. My most popular episode so far has been about godly womanhood. It was episode 49. And one of my sweet clients recently asked me if I had specifically developed a study or a devotional on how to develop these attributes. So I thought we would just dig into them. We'd already talked about it, and we're just going to dive deep. So today, we are going to start this series off by talking about how to know God. In one's quest to become a godly woman, it would make sense to understand who He is. You cannot become like someone you don't actually know. So in order to know God, you're going to have to spend some time seeking to understand the God who created you, my friend. I think the best place to start is by understanding and getting curious about what you currently believe about God. What do you currently believe about your relationship with God? What do you believe is required to have that relationship? What do you think it should look like? What do you believe in general about who He is and who you want Him to be? This is a series of questions that you can start asking yourself in order to help you understand what your current belief system is. In coaching, we call this identifying your beliefs. This is kind of an obvious thing here, but what you currently think and believe about someone or something and how it is built, getting curious about this. A couple other questions is, who do you want God to be? What kind of a relationship with Him do you want to have? And what are you really willing to do to have that relationship with Him? Do you even want to have one? And if so, what does that look like? These are how you find out the core foundational beliefs that you're holding on to. We call it creating a new religion in coaching when we adjust these beliefs and rewrite them with intention to move into learning to believe new things. We cannot learn something new unless we understand what it is we're already currently holding on to. And many of us don't even understand what that is. So we can't move forward without understanding where we're currently at. It's like starting a race. You can't get directions to the finish line if you don't even know where the start is. God calls this becoming a new creature when we are shaped and molded through the Spirit to understand His truths and learn to see the world and our lives through His lens. In becoming a godly woman, a Proverbs 31 woman, which many women in the Christian world believes is a godly woman. We often hear of the Proverbs 31 woman referred to and the standard for every woman to be achieving. It requires time with God to learn His word, His wisdom, His truths about who we are, what our relationship with Him can be, what is that potential, and how can we hear Him and learn from Him. It is intentional work, and I'm also going to say sometimes, my friends, painful. It is humbling work when you really surrender. This, my friends, is true submission. When you are seeking Him out genuinely, earnestly, diligently, and allowing Him to work in your life, letting go of what you think and accepting whatever God says. Seeking has been on my mind a lot the last few weeks, and I just want to let you know that as I put these podcasts together, I am always finding things I myself need to work on and understand better. So I am not trying to preach at you. I am doing this work right alongside you, my friends. We all have work to do, including myself. Your brain continues with you every single place you go. There is always things we can do to refine ourselves, and we all can understand our Creator better. Regardless of where you are in your walk with Him, I pray that something today you hear renews a desire in you to seek Him even more, or to just start to seek Him, or to seek Him more deeply this week. Psalm 27:4 says, "One thing have I asked of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in His temple." Oh, my friend, what are you seeking after that diligently? There's a popular saying, you can know what a person prioritizes in life by how one spends their time. Now, this is either a very humbling piece of pie or a great realization of where your priorities, what you value, where they truly lie. Is your life a reflection of a desire to truly seek after God with all your heart? If you could only ask for one thing, would it really be to live with God all the days of your life and to worship Him? To really be okay just in the presence of God? To be satisfied just gazing at Him and asking Him just to be near Him? Is that really what you would be looking for and what you'd really be seeking after? I came across this verse several months ago as I was doing my daily devotional from My Bible in 1 Year with Nikki and Pimpa Gumble. Nikki shared that there are 5 verses in the Bible that use this phrase, one thing. This specific verse is telling us that there is one thing to ask and seek after. Matthew 7:8 reminds us, "For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks it will be opened." There is something each of us can do: ask, seek, and knock. And then there is a promise from God on the other end: receive, find, and be opened to you. Those are great promises, my friends. But James reminds us what it means to ask. In James 1:6-8, he says, "But let him ask in faith, with no doubting. For the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind." That is turbulent chaos, my friends. Up and down. Do you ever feel like you're on a roller coaster of life? The turbulent sea. That is it. He continues on. "For that person must not suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways." Woo! My friend, that is a big dichotomy there. The footnotes in my study Bible, I have the ESV Women's Study Bible. It says that being double-minded is to be torn between God and the world, or our own natural abilities and God, relying on ourselves or relying on God. Double-minded is to not truly, fully trust in God. It is saying, well, here I'm going to ask you for this, Lord, but I'm also going to remind myself that I can do it on my own. That is a source of our doubt, my friends. And Jeremiah 29:13 reminds us, "You will seek me and find me when you seek with all your heart." It is not enough to casually seek after God if you truly want to be a godly woman, my friend. Now, no one is perfect, and there is no point in life that we're going to arrive and say, we've gotten there, we've achieved this. But God doesn't expect perfection. He knows we are incapable, completely incapable of attaining perfection. That is not what He's asking for, and that is not the expectation. He simply wants our heart, our surrender, our submission. He wants our effort, my friends. Each of these verses reminds us there is an action required on our part. And then we can count on him to fulfill his promises to us. A godly woman knows and understands that her greatest pursuit in life is God, and she spends her time doing so. Not because she's seeking blessings or praise or status, but because she is seeking his wisdom, his peace, his clarity, and his desires for her life. And she goes to work implementing what she learns and finds. She receives what God offers, even when it doesn't align with her own will, because my friend, it hardly ever does. In fact, when God shows her his will, she realigns her heart to him. But you first have to know him, my friend. You have to be able to understand his voice. You have to be able to know who he is, know what his voice sounds like, and how to discern it from the many, many voices of the world. Psalm 139 has been a source of comfort and guidance for me the last several months, and as I continue to study it, I am continually reminded of what an awesome, amazing God we have. Verse 14 of Psalm 139 says, "Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well." We are meant to know God and understand him very well. Not on a surface level, my friends. Not on an every casual other Sunday. Not on a once a week, sometimes I go to church. We are to know him deeply and intimately, very well. Who do you tell others that God is? Do you even feel comfortable answering that question if you were to be asked? Who do you tell yourself that God is? When answering this question and seeking to sincerely understand God is truly the greatest desire of your heart, my friend. That is when you will start to understand not just who you are, but how to become the godly woman that he has created you to be. I encourage you today to go and study Psalm 139 and ponder how amazing it is that God not only knows you, but he knows you and understands you intimately, deeply. Ponder these questions. Give yourself time to write them out and journal and think about them and allow God to show you how magnificent and full and complete he is and his love for you is. This is the foundation for your understanding of him. Let him guide you and show you just how wonderful he is and who he says you are. Have a great day, my friends. You have been listening to the Beyond Believing podcast, and if you liked anything you heard today, I want to invite you to come and work with me privately. This month, I'm starting up a brand new Selah Healing case study group, and I'm looking for a handful of new women to mentor and work closely with. This invitation is very time sensitive, and I won't be able to offer this kind of personalized coaching and access to me for much longer. If this sounds like something you are interested in, find all the details at the link in my bio. I can't wait to hear from you.